Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Difference and Real Talk with Brian Poduska of Real Property Management. I want to welcome everybody today. First, I want to say hi to my buddy Brian before I start to introduce the show and explain a little bit about what The Difference is about. How you doing, Brian?
I'm fantastic, Lennon. How are you doing today?
Well, if my audio is working today, then I'm doing good. How's it working?
It's working great.
That's progress because I have battled this now far too long. I'm gonna give you a chance to get everything connected on the backside. So I'm gonna talk just a little bit to everyone. As I said before, this is The Difference. I am Lyndon Wilson, the creator of The Difference, and what we've done with The Difference, what this is all about. The Difference is an internet media and broadcast network that we created to help small businesses better connect to their communities, and then help the communities who love small business better connect to those people that are serving the community. And I'm excited to talk about some things today, some brand new things that we're doing. I don't know if any of you have seen the advertisement that we've put out. We just got that out yesterday, but I'm going to show you just a little bit. We're going to be doing some giveaways. For those that don't know, last year in 2020, we had over 500,000 viewers on all of our shows, had about 300 shows, about 600 guests, small businesses. And we decided that we wanted to be able to do something to give back to the people that watch the show and support the show. Because, I mean, without you guys watching, there's nothing for us to do but sit here and talk, and we can do that anywhere. So we're going to be doing giveaways, and there's several ways that you can win. There's no purchase necessary. This is not timeshare, as you can see on the flyer that we'll have. It's not a timeshare. There are no presentations. There's no gimmicks. Winners are usually responsible for a small processing fee. Sometimes it's around $25, and your taxes. That's it. That's all you got. And so what we're giving away this month is airfare and hotel for two. And that's compliments of The Difference. And we're going to be sharing, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a little bit of that now, how you can be eligible for this. Number one, we're going to talk about this. We're going to give you two ways. We'll give another one towards the middle to end of the show. But one of the ways that you can be eligible for this is if you're a property investor and you're looking for a property management company. All you got to do is get in touch with Brian Poduska. We're going to be putting his information up here. He's going to be on shortly talking. But get in touch with him, get a no obligation consultation, and let him show you what he can do for you and help you and relieve some of the burdens and the stresses that you may be going through as a property manager. So that's what we're doing there. If you are a property manager, you're listening, paying attention, you got a chance to get a free getaway. Compliments of The Difference. So now I'm going to bring Brian back in with me. What's up, Brian?
Well, not much, Lennon. Just enjoying this beautiful Thursday after the storms rolled through last night.
Right.
So yeah, all is good. How are you?
And I can't complain. We didn't get storms bad last night. We got pretty good wind. We didn't get a lot of rain, so. You know, I'm watching everything on social media as I always do, where I spend half of my life, I guess. And I was really worried. I was worried for a lot of my friends that seemed to be concerned about tornadoes and obviously the hail. People were posting pictures of that. So we dodged the bullet. I hope everybody else came out okay as well. But
yeah, I think we pretty much avoided the tornado, but I can speak personally. Up here in Frisco, our sirens went off. I don't know, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. And you know, kids always get frightened by that. But yeah, luckily no tornadoes. We actually avoided the hail too. But we'll have Daniel on a little bit later from DFW Cook Roofing and Restoration. He's very in tune with where the hail was and what happened. But yeah, so I think we probably dodged a pretty big bullet for the first, what I'll call real storm of the season. Plenty more to come.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you come in sometimes, right? When there are some storms or some acts of God or something like that, and and Brian Poduska with Real Property Management gets, you have to put on the cape and you get the light up in the sky, right? They call you out. You have to go fix all those problems. And if you're a property manager, that's what you're there for, right? You're there to help them. So talk a little bit about that. And then we've got a great show today. I'm excited about what your topic's going to be. I preach on that a lot. So just share a little bit about yourself with everyone. That way, if any property investors are listening, they're going to know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. No, thank you for that. Sometimes we have to get this big R light. I can't do this on my screen, but that bat light of the big R up in the sky. We are a full service property management company. And when I say full service, I mean all the way from pre-purchase, as far as analyzing a property in the beginning, to acquisition of that property, and obviously the management piece all the way through disposition. So we are full service in that regard. I'm a licensed realtor here in the state of Texas, so can help locate, purchase, manage that property for you as a property owner. Like you said, Landon, we've experienced, as always, the Texas weather is very fickle. 3 weeks or a month ago, we had the Snowmageddon, and here we are a month later with potential tornadoes and hailstorms coming through. So that will continue. And of course, if you're an out-of-state owner and trying to manage your property yourself, it can be quite the challenge if you're not on location. And for those who have multiple properties in the area, trying to manage a day job while taking care of emergency situations with your property is not an enviable task. So that is why we are in existence as a property management company. We are here to take care of your property, take the burden of taking care of your property off your hands, and let you enjoy your life, enjoy your day job if you have one. So that is what we are here for. I will mention we do have a unique tool called Wealth Optimizer that helps you analyze from every different direction a potential investment property that you may be looking at. So not just cash flow. Everybody talks about cash flow with their properties, and positive cash flow is always very nice, but there's also many other benefits to owning a property. The underlying appreciation of that property goes without saying. But we look at it from a very micro aspect of what neighborhood you're in and what kind of appreciation you can expect, along with taking a look at the tax depreciation that you can take against that property to really holistically analyze whatever you're potentially looking at from a property standpoint. So that's us in a nutshell. Real Property Management Focus. We focus on your real estate investments. And like you mentioned, Landon, we've got some awesome guests on the show today. And we've got a topic that I'm going to weave in. We always try to weave in a business topic. I know you've preached this in the difference in many of your shows. And back when we were doing it as a slightly different platform, we probably had this topic as a conversation for probably the entire show. And that is communication.
Right.
And the importance of communication in your business, in life in general, but specifically to your business and your business as an entrepreneur. So I had an instance last week, which is why this kind of resonated with me, and I kind of wanted to talk about it today. I had a friend of mine and a business colleague of mine who had approached me and asked me, can I help him find a rental property for, his next year of living, right? And we have properties in our inventory, nothing that fit exactly what he was looking for. So as a realtor, he asked, could you represent me in finding a property? I said, sure. I don't typically do that necessarily. I'm usually on the other end renting out properties, but happy to do that for friends and colleagues of mine. So I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely help you out. So we proactively looked at several properties, as you typically do before you find one that you like. And he found one that he liked fairly quickly and reached out and to the management company who had listed the property and asked what their application process is, and at that point they answered the phone and they said, "Here's what the application process is." So I said, "Great, we're on it." So we submitted right away, and then there's usually a few days delay potentially as the screening process happens, as background checks are being run, and that's true for us as well. But then it got to be 2-3 days later, and it was just crickets. Right, crickets were chirping in the background, and I called, I emailed, I texted, all the communication avenues that are out there for us to follow, and followed up, and again, crickets, nothing, no replies. And I will add that my client is very qualified from a financial standpoint. Criminal background is completely clean, no evictions in his previous history. So it's a very pretty cut and dry decision coming from the property management standpoint. And if they had multiple good offers and opportunities, that's great for them. But at the same time, they have to let you know that they've gone a different direction. But there was none of that. And it's frustrating to the point where I sent a few, I'll say, nasty grams over email and text, right? Like, dude, I own a property management company. I get it. You're busy, but at the same time, extend the professional courtesy of replying to any communication. And there was none. So at the end of the day, we basically retracted our application and went elsewhere. So an example of communication, the complete lack of communication potentially causing a business issue, right? I still don't know if they've found a renter for that property, but as an owner that employed that property management company, I'd be extremely frustrated if, they're letting very good leads fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
So that was my experience this past, it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, which kind of drove me to bringing the topic up of communication. A very small, minute example here in the property management space. But again, if you're an owner, you really need communication. This business is very unique because you're playing middleman to your direct clients who are your owners, but then you have tenants that you're serving as well.
Right.
It's a business that forces communication, and if you don't do it, you're going to drown, right? So just an example of what I experienced 2 weeks ago, and I kind of chuckle because I think about that. If that's my competition,
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, bring it.
Right.
And what's funny, when I decided to get into property management, and I went through quite a bit of training, Real Property Management does a great job of really immersing you and giving you very good procedures and things like that. But literally, one of the first things they said as a business tip is answer your damn phone.
Well, I was going to say you've got an extensive career in the corporate world. What would have happened to you in the corporate world if you'd have been getting emails you didn't answer?
Done.
You wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks, would you?
No. It's there, and it's funny you say that because one of my first managers, a long time ago, probably 18 years ago, one of my first managers, and this was back before text messages became, a very forefront. It became the forefront and probably the easiest way to communicate. So email was the thing, and that was really the most efficient way to communicate back then. And he said, if you ever let an email go 24 hours without a reply, that he didn't say it's grounds for firing or anything like that, but he said that is absolutely one of my policies is that anybody, myself included, he held himself to that standard, but he said, if you go 24 hours without, replying to an email, then you don't belong here.
Right.
And yeah, so no, you wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks. You're right. 2 weeks and you're done.
Well, and a lot of times, sometimes, because you're right, people are busy. Sometimes you get overloaded, especially in a season like we have. But how long does it take to just reply and say, hey, super busy right now, I'll get back with you in the next 48 hours? For me, that satisfies me. I get it. I respect that, you may have a plate full today or tomorrow or whatever it may be, but just acknowledge the existence of someone trying to get in touch with you.
Right. Exactly. And it's that simple that, especially now where you're connected by every device possible, right? So it's difficult to say, oh, hey, and I honestly, I don't check my email all the time. Text message is probably the best way to get a hold of me now. But at the same time, I try to keep my inbox as clear as possible as far as at least being read, an email being read. And yes, it's super simple to just hit reply and say, hey, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Been a crazy day, but and I think that's a good policy too, is to say, hey, I'll get back to you within a certain time frame, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we all have time to do that. I hesitate to say this on air, but I had a buddy one time that he wasn't saying it to me; he was saying it to someone else, and we were actually in a sales meeting, and there was somebody that we had that wasn't very good at responding, and he goes, "If you got time to go to the bathroom, you got time to respond."
Well, what better time to reply?
What else you got to do? So yeah, awesome. He didn't say it the way I said it.
Yeah.
He said it really graphically, but it made a point.
If you can shit, you can reply, right?
Absolutely. You got to do something while you're there. Well, Brian, we have got two of your guests backstage. We got Greg Holberg, who not only is a guest today, but is also a sponsor of your show and one of the difference makers. And then we got Stephen Beavers, who is a dynamic and exciting guy. He's also one of the difference makers too. So thanks to you making the difference, making introductions. I got to meet these two great guys and really enjoy having them being part of the difference. So whichever one you want to bring on first, if you want to bring them on both, we can get them in here.
Well, since they're both here, why don't we just bring them both in? The other thing I wanted to accomplish today, aside from talking communication as our main topic today, but I did want to bring some spotlight specifically to Greg's business, since he is a sponsor on the show, on Real Talk in particular. But I also want to bring some awareness to the difference makers and that avenue of the show that you've kind of taken on and brought more opportunity to some local business owners. So we can talk through all of that. Okay. We also have Daniel Cook that'll be joining us, another sponsor on the show. Again, I wanted to bring some spotlight to these guys because Greg, you've got an awesome new offering. I'm not going to steal your thunder there, but you've got something new to bring to your business and a new offering. Stephen, you said it yourself, you can talk for hours. So there's no lack of communication from you. So I did want to bring you on the show because it's pertinent, and wanted to allow you to tease out, your next guest on your show. And then when Daniel eventually arrives in backstage, we'll bring him on as well. Because we are in hail season, and he owns a roofing and restoration company. So I want him to be top of mind as somebody who's very customer service oriented, which is very, very important in that realm in the roofing space. So with that being said, guys, our topic of the day is communication. Greg, let's go to you first. I want you to communicate what your new offering is, what your business is, and really you have a unique offering. So I want you to kind of tell the audience what makes you different, and then we can dive into some more communication. And obviously, I want you to highlight your HMA plan. So take it away, my man.
Sure. I love this topic of communication, and one of the things I've noticed that a lot of people will, even after hours, say, well, "Gee, I'm off the clock. I'm not going to talk about what I do." And I'm an evangelist when it comes to healthcare and healthcare insurance. And it's one of those things where I started looking into it, and I actually started getting angry with the way that the industry is being structured, and the fact that a lot of people don't know what they have till they need it, and they're not quite sure who they need to talk to and so forth. They'll talk to one agent, and that agent, they don't understand the term of captive agent, meaning that's all they can sell. And they're very good. I mean, they're doing a good job and all that. But myself as an independent broker, I talk to lots of different companies. And one of the things that I've done is looking for the perfect healthcare plan. And unfortunately, it does not exist. Each plan has got some really good stuff. Some are very high in their premiums. Some are very high in their deductibles, but they're good in benefits. So it's back and forth on these things. And I try and find what is the best fit for an individual. So it's pretty well customized on what I look for people. But one of the things I found, and this will get into my product a little bit, was again, looking for the perfect plan and finding out that there really isn't. Each has their weaknesses, but and some are low on prescriptions, and they have high copays and high deductibles and so forth. A few years back, health savings accounts started popping up, and they're very good, and they're really good if, like you, Brian, coming out of the corporate world, your employer was helping sponsor it with funds. And because it would grow quicker and so forth. And the goodness of these things is they help you offset the cost of the things that the health insurance isn't going to provide, whether it's high deductible or copays, or there's some prescriptions that aren't accepted by the insurance company, and unfortunately you get stuck paying those out of pocket. There wasn't a real good solution until now for the independent business person or small business that is looking for a health savings account. And this plan is actually called a health matching account. And of course, you get a Visa card, and you can use this Visa card when you go to the pharmacy or if you go to the doctor to pay a copay or whatever it is that you need to get covered. It's perfect for people that have got insurance but are looking for ways to offset some of these costs. If people don't have insurance, it's certainly I wouldn't recommend it, but it's certainly better than no plan, because there are some really good benefits in here. For instance, under this plan, telemedicine is for free, so you can call a doctor and get that doctor's input, and that doctor can call in a prescription, and that doesn't cost anything to you. And then you can take your health matching account Visa card down to the pharmacy and pick up your prescription. So that is all included in it. One of the better things about it is, as the plan grows, there's a cap that you can pick. So you can pick a cap to say in 35 months, because that's the duration of it, where it goes into a maintenance kind of a cycle. But you can set it up to where you want to pay $40 a month, and after 35 months, there's $2,500 out there, all the way down to I haven't had one of these yet, but $725 a month, and have a $60,000 balance sitting out there. Now, the interesting thing about that is if you look at the amount that you're contributing, for instance, I'll take a middle one. Let's just say somebody's paying $140 a month into it. That's going to actually amount after 35 months to $4,900 that you've contributed. Now, here's the kicker to this thing. Is after 35 months and you putting in your $4,900, you will have $10,000 of healthcare benefit, and that's yours. And after you hit the cap, it stops deducting that amount and just goes to deducting a maintenance amount. And you can use it at any time. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll hold on to it and they'll let it go, because after a while it starts putting in $2 for every dollar that you put in, and it's guaranteed. One of the problems with your traditional health savings account is it's usually invested in some stocks and bonds and things like that. And if there's trouble in the market, you can take a hit on that. This is not like that. This is they actually guarantee you after 35 months a set amount that you're going to have in there, and it usually works out to be between $1.50 and in some cases a little bit more than $2 for every dollar that you put in. Extremely generous. One of the nice things about it, you can also use it for procedures that an insurance company will not cover. Cosmetic surgery. is one. Brian, no, I'm kidding.
So if I need my breast reduction surgery done, I can.
You're covered. You're covered.
Okay, awesome.
You can use it. You can use it at the dentist. You can use it at a chiropractor, at the pharmacy. If you're looking at buying, let's say you need to get a brace for a knee or something, you can use it for that. It's absolutely amazing, and the fact that it doesn't cost you very much to have, and you can select what your cap needs to be and what your monthly contribution needs to be. Just makes it more flexible. The other thing that's great about it is say you're starting off and you're paying $84 a month, and at the end of 35 months, it's going to be worth $5,000. Terrific. Well, let's just say this is a pretty good deal. I want to bump it. At any time, you can go up and raise the amount of your contribution, and it'll raise the amount of the cap. The other thing you can do is, let's just say you're paying more, but you're falling on some couple of tough months. You can back it down if you want. Now, obviously, it's going to affect the amount that's in your account, but you're not completely held to the the $140 a month. You can back it down to $40 a month temporarily, and then put it back up when things change. So extremely flexible. You can add the spouse to it, add kids to it. And it's extremely flexible way to go. So what this can do then is, when you're looking at your health insurance, now you can start to take a look at, well, I've got this health savings or health matching account. I can afford to raise my deductible a little bit more. What's that going to do? It's going to lower your premiums. So it's a really great plan. I love to share it with people, kind of go over different ones, see where they're comfortable, and tell them just how much they can expect to have in their account after 35 months. And how they can use it, and that it's good for as long as they have the account.
No, that's awesome. So I didn't think about it from that perspective. So taking a step back, I thought of it, and I don't want to get into tax trouble here, but I think of it kind of as a 401k for your health savings, right? Like just for in layman's terms, right? I didn't think about it from the perspective that, oh yeah, you can definitely, it adds the flexibility of being able to change your medical plan from year to year as you accumulate, savings. You can have your deductible completely covered and change to a higher deductible plan because you've already got the money saved up.
Right. The other thing too is, even though this plan, that's why it's called a health matching account, that they're adding money into it for you. Right. You're buying this with post-tax dollars, okay? And one of the reasons why you want to do that is the money that they're putting in there that you're going to get back is not taxable.
Okay.
So that's tax-free income you're making on post-tax dollars. So that's a real benefit. So there's a long list of things that this could be used for. And I just mentioned a few, but there's a ton of stuff that can be used for. Now, obviously, like any health savings account, this health matching account, you can't take your money out of it. It's only for medical expenses. But the thing is eventually you'll have medical expenses, whether you go see the doctor, or you need something medically or need prescriptions filled. But it's just there. And what's nice is, once you hit that 35-month mark, and again, this is assuming you don't take anything out, because obviously that kind of resets a little bit, and you'll need to catch back up. But assuming that you've met your cap and so forth, then it just goes to a small maintenance fee to keep it, and it just sits there. And let's just say you've got $5,000 sitting out there, and you use $1,000 of it. Well, it goes down to having $4,000 out there, and then since you're at the higher level, it's going to be pretty much paying 2 to 1 for every dollar you put into it to boost you back to that $5,000 level quicker than it took you to get there.
Yeah, it's like an awesome matching program for a 401k, which 2 to 1 is unheard of, and that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is, and I can sell these in group plans as well. And the nice thing about it is, you can take it with you. So this is, it does not necessarily, they set it up that way, but it does not necessarily have to stay with the company. So you leave the company, you lose it, like you can in certain health accounts or savings accounts. So you got to be a little bit careful of that. But these plans, this is yours. You own this account. and you take it with you, and it's just used as a guide to help you determine the level of insurance you're going to need. Now, I do have an individual that bought this, and he's kind of undergoing a rough time right now. But what attracted him to it was he can build up a savings account to pay for some bills, but he liked the fact that you can use the telemedicine to talk to a doctor if he wakes up not feeling well, if he hurts himself or whatever, and there's no charge for that. So that's almost like a doctor visit. I guess that's a COVID-19 doctor visit these days.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the new way to go to the doctor now.
Yep. But that's pretty much the way the program works. And like I say, I'm an evangelist out there for this stuff. When I find something like this, I shout it from the rooftops, because as soon as I saw this, I signed up for it. Then I began taking the brochure around to people that are pretty knowledgeable about the way insurance work and investments work, and I asked them, punch a hole in this, find the hole. There isn't one. It's a great plan, and it can fit so many different people in different ways.
Well, that's awesome. And, since you're the evangelist now, and I love the enthusiasm, because Steve, I think you should connect with Steven, and he can find you a nice, fancy, flamboyant evangelista shirt to really trumpet that message.
Maybe a Bible or the Pope's stick. I mean, so you can beat it into them. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
There, that's my Bible right there today.
There you go.
So, yeah, but it's funny you talk about communication though too, and like I said, I talk about this stuff all the time. It becomes part of who you are, and you mentioned some of the things about talking to people and so forth, and so many people don't talk about what they do. I mean, gosh, my wife gets a little annoyed at me occasionally because I'm always talking about this. She found a couch out on Craigslist, and I'm talking to the wife about healthcare. Well, she wants to look at the couch. We ended up buying the couch, but they ended up buying health insurance from me. So, I mean, you never know who it is you're going to talk to, and you just got to communicate it. Sometimes I'm out and I'm talking to somebody and they don't need health insurance, but all of a sudden, I hand them my card and they get a call. I'm so-and-so's sister. I need health insurance. So it's just amazing. So everything comes down to communications. Without it, we're all dead.
I totally agree. And, if you have that evangelist shirt, that bright evangelist shirt, you may even draw more business and opportunities to communicate, right?
Well, I've got a mixer I'm going to tonight. So one of my first since I've been vaccinated, and very excited about it. I'm going to have to dig in the closet and see what kind of shirts I can find. But I don't know if I can
come up with some props for you. We're going to come up.
That can be your new brand.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that could be your new brand.
So on that topic of communication, Stephen, I want to bring you into the conversation as well. I mean, that is kind of your wheelhouse, right? Because
it is actually
your business is all about, and I'll let you go into it a little bit more, but you're all about streamlining and making businesses and people in general more efficient, so you can take more vacation. Right?
TMV, baby. TMV. So, I took some notes, and going back to the bad experience that you had. So every one of my clients, when they first come in, there's 3 things that they need, and they almost always hit the first one, and that's leads. Everybody needs it. I don't know a business out there that doesn't need leads, right? So I agree with them. Then we don't even go any further. Like, well, what about this one? I said, well, first of all, let me ask you a question. How's your follow-up? And usually I hear crickets, or I hear, well, I got busy answering the email, or this or that, or the dog, or it's like, well, good are leads if you don't have a good follow-up program, right? Okay. So, and here's the thing. That guy should have called you not because he was going to make any money, because he doesn't know who you could refer to him by saying, hey, the guy couldn't help me, but damn, he was on top of it. You know what? Right. But now it's like, hell no. Right. So, and I had a mentor. The other thing I was thinking of is it brought me back to memory lane back in the 80s. Oh, no, I'm not that old. Okay. But he goes, Stephen, there's going to be 2 things that are going to happen in this world. People are either going to A, love you, or B, hate you. He says, stop trying to help the haters. You got plenty of them. Because if you get somebody that doesn't like you, they're your enemy, right? And that means you have forfeited a friend. And I had to think about that. But if you make an enemy, you have forfeited a friend. And there's plenty of people out there that aren't going to, they don't like the red glasses. They don't like the bright shirt, whatever, right? I have a family. They don't. You're tall. I'm short. Or am I taller than you? Right?
I don't know. We'll have to.
Damn, don't do that. I got a short. Okay. But those are the couple. But so, yeah, communication is key, right? You work so hard to get that lead. And then you're concentrating on getting more leads when you should concentrate on communicating with that person, finding out, they don't want to buy from you. They don't. They want to buy from somebody that they trust. They don't care if they like you. They don't have to like you. People say, no, like and trust. No, they don't have to like you. They have to trust you. You know what? I don't like Brian, but he is the bomb when it comes to property management. I'm going to use him. We don't philosophically meet. We do. I'm just saying this as
I don't like you either, Steven. So screw you.
But you don't have to like them. You have to respect them, right? But at the end of the day, you got to trust them that they're going to do the right thing, right? And the right thing, whether you win or lose on a sale, is to make that contact, communicate that person. I did a doodle version for my new book, and I haven't talked to this guy in a couple of months. He sent me a email today and said, hey, just wonder if you had anything. Boom, right? This cat's on the ball, right? Because I told him I have other books and stuff like that, right? So communication, I mean, like, who else is going to steal his business from me, right? No
Yeah.
one.
Well, I think you brought up and kind of hit the nail on the head when you brought up the fact that not only did that other property management company drop the ball in communicating, but now I have an extremely negative connotation in my head as to how, and they may be great people. I don't know them, but they may be great people, but I won't be doing business with them if I can avoid it in the future.
And what have they done? They've made you stronger about communicating and staying in touch with the customers, good or bad. So they've actually increased your business because they've increased your awareness and your ability now to say, you know what, I will never be like that, right? Yeah. So they've actually, indirectly, maybe they were doing it because they didn't want to, they had the scarcity mentality, right? Oh, I don't want to do business with this guy, because he's in competition, whatever. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you can't handle all of DFW areas property managed, or can you? Because if you can,
I'm gonna try, but no, it's physically impossible.
Okay. But so maybe this guy, but now you're a stronger person for it. So he's actually helped his competition by not talking with his competition.
Yeah, I like that angle. I didn't think about it that way, but I like that angle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool. Well, on the topic of communication, Greg. So you mentioned how you communicate what you do as often as you can, but talk about how important it is, because I know you're big on this, but talk about how important it is once you have a client who is thinking about your services. I know you're big on the education piece, and a lot of folks don't know the ins and outs of health insurance. So, talk about the importance of it in your business and how that sets you apart from others.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because when I start talking to people about insurance, they don't have a clue. And as you mentioned, one of the things I do is I guess all my presentations I give or more informational webinars, if you will. I want them to know how insurance works. I want them to know what their rights are, what they can expect, what's a good plan. I also, give them some of the ins and outs on how they can kind of game the system a little bit. And it's legal. It's just people don't know about it. It's like asking a doctor, hey, what's your best cash price? Put the insurance card back in your pocket and say, can I get a better deal with cash? And 9 out of 10 times, they're amazed that you can. They don't know it. I teach them how to challenge people. But again, to the theme of communication, it's all about explaining, what options they have available to them. One of the things that I'm very comfortable with is, years ago, I really got into the, the motivational stuff. And the grandfather of all the motivational stuff was Earl Nightingale. I don't know if you've ever listened to any of his stuff. Great guy. Everybody.
Conan and Earl Nightingale, baby. Yeah.
And he was sort of the guy that everybody listened to. And he was talking about, the common person that's out there just goes through the motions. They'll go through, hey, I'm going A, B, C, and D. And, you talk about follow-up. And one of the things that I can equate that to is, in the insurance business, which I've done for a few years before I decided to get into my own brokerage, is we would have these guys that would buy insurance leads. They have companies that would, do the canvassing and cold call people. And those leads were expensive. They're $40 a pop in some cases, right? So to buy leads, you're going to buy 10, 15 leads. It's extremely expensive, and your close ratio isn't bad because they're fresh, but it could be better. However, one of the guys I met that was a superstar in the insurance industry, I was talking to him about it. This was after I left because he probably wouldn't have told me if I was working with him. He said, I never buy new leads. He says, I buy the oldest ones I can find. I said, why? He says, the guys that buy the leads, they never follow up. And he's one of the top salesmen. And the reason why is the guys make 1 or 2 phone calls. Oh, I'm not really interested right now. Okay, fine. They say, oh, that lead was junk, and they throw it in the trash. Well, the follow-up, this guy comes along and says, hey, I know you talked with us, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. And I just wanted to make sure to see how you're doing, if anything's changed in your situation. And it's amazing this guy pulls down. So it's about follow-up, communication. And if you're not doing the follow-up, you can talk all day, but nobody's going to listen to you. And so you got to, once you have a lead and you're talking to somebody, you just always follow up. I have people that I sign up for insurance that I talked to over a year ago, and their situation just wasn't right there. But I've kept in touch with them. And when they start thinking of, hey, I think I'll look at insurance again, I'm the guy they think about. And it doesn't cost anything to do that. And
I got to cut in because you just brought up memory of the past. Remember this guy, Tom Hopkins?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How about Les Brown, Dennis Waitley?
Wait a minute. Was that a cassette?
Yes, cassettes, man. I mean, that's what they said back then.
Yeah, I had them all.
Cassette things every
he
month,
did say
man.
he was from the 80s, remember?
Yeah, that was it was the bomb. What are you talking about? It's like $40 a year or something something crazy. I can't remember what it was. But
Tony Robbins was in short pants.
Yeah. Zig Ziglar. I've got one for Zig Ziglar here, and I mean, I'm pulling out the old.
Wow, look at that.
So, but they don't go out. They don't go out, right? I mean, the greats don't. They keep on rocking, right?
Yeah.
Well, the principles don't go away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do want to see your 8-track collection, though.
But yeah, man. So yeah, sorry, you just brought it. I just going down like I knew I still had some in the office.
They're in there. I got mine. I think they're up in the attic. So hopefully the heat hasn't completely destroyed them. But it's one of those things that you just buy and you hold on to, and every once in a while you pull them out and listen to them.
Yeah,
and they say,
you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot. I thought I knew stuff, but I forgot about that. Right?
Yeah. Something I'm doing too, though, is I read this book. It's called The 5 O'Clock Club. Highly recommend it. It's basically just saying get up at 5, and it's amazing the stuff I get done by 9. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I exercise, I meditate, I get everything ready. So 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I mean, I've done all the busy work. It's all done. Now all I got to do is talk to people.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. 4:45 in the morning. I go to bed at 8:30, and by 8 o'clock, I'm pretty much I'm ready. Because shiitake happens, right? Happens for all of us.
The drawback to that is the dog gets used to me getting up at 5, and now they're used to being fed at 5:15, and they don't know what a Saturday or a Sunday is.
So I will say that the dogs are right, because if you go to I sleep until 5:30 on Saturdays and Sundays, but if you don't, your rhythm comes out and it's actually harder for you to get back in the groove. So.
Yeah, I don't sleep in or anything, but it's just if I give it by 6 o'clock, if I'm not in there feeding them, they're waking me up.
Our dog stays outside, but our cats are at the door saying, "Hey, did you not understand we're starving?"
I got to communicate better with the animals.
All right. So I do want to take a moment here. We'll pause so we can talk about our other sponsor. I know Daniel was just backstage here a second ago. I just got a text message, which is why I was looking away. He said his connection wasn't the greatest, so he's going to try to get back in. But in the meantime, let's Lennon, if we can pull up Carrie Cook's information and talk a little bit about Carrie, one of our other sponsors and the spouse of Daniel. Carrie is actually also involved in DFW, Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration, more on the back office side. But her day job, I'll call it, which is very near and dear to her heart. She is a realtor in the area here with Keller Williams, the Cavalier Realty Group. I know she's got a couple listings that she's hustling on right now. But when we talk about our theme today of communication, Carrie is the agent you want when it comes to communication. She will tell you as it is up front. You know, if you have a listing, she offers the free service of coming out and taking a look at your property and giving you that CMA, that educated comparative market analysis to tell you what your home is going to be worth. And every step of the way, she will hold your hand as much as you want it. Hold it. Some folks don't want that, but she is absolutely willing and able to do that, and will over communicate to the point where you know exactly what's going on with your home sale. She also represents buyers, so if you need a good realtor in the area, Carrie Cook is your woman. Call Carrie at 972-342-5763. That's Carrie Cook with the Cavalier Realty Group.
You know, can I just spin off of her for a second?
Please.
I don't know her, and I don't have to know her. And the reason is because Keller Williams is known worldwide as the #1 training organization, not for realtors, #1 training organization in the world. You want to talk about somebody that's been trained on communication? Okay, I've gone through their training because I like to go through everybody's training to see if I can pick up stuff. I picked up more than just stuff, but they are on it. I mean, if you want to talk about somebody that does what they preach, right? When she says she'll do something, it's not just words out of her mouth because that's what she's supposed to say. She does it, and that's the training of Keller Williams is just freaking phenomenal. I still get stuff. I went through their training a while back, and I still get stuff. Their follow-up, right? They're still following up with me, and I'm not a realtor, right? But they don't care because you never know. Hey, I paid the money. Right? If I pay it again, and I might, because everybody needs to refresh. I need refresher courses, right? This never goes away, right? So, but yeah. So anyway, just thought that Keller Williams is a brand of its own.
No, you're exactly right. Keller has like you said, one of the best training programs in the world, and industries outside of real estate come to Keller Williams to understand exactly what they're doing in their training sessions. So that is absolutely true. And then the training on top of that, I can speak to Carrie. She, real estate is a relationship-based business at the end of the day, and those who can build relationships and maintain them, which Carrie does, with the training that Keller provides, she's fantastic and can't say enough good things about her. So yeah, no, that's a great ad, Stephen. Appreciate that.
The truth. Yeah. That's what I do.
So one more thing on the topic of communication. So I don't know if Daniel's going to be rejoining us, but if he isn't able to, we'll get his advertisement screen up and we can talk a little bit about Daniel. But on the communication side, Stephen, I know your business in general, and I do want you to also talk about your radio show, so we can kind of hit two topics here, as we wind down our show. But I want you to talk about some of the techniques and practices that you suggest and implement with your clientele to really help them get more efficient with communication, specific to the communication topic. And then I also want you to tease out your next guest on your show and talk a little bit about the difference makers and what your role is in that.
Right. So we'll go with the communication first. One of the things that we do, see, here's the thing. I can't communicate with you effectively until I know who I am and why I'm doing stuff. So the first thing, I've got 7 stages. The first thing is all about you. We find out who you are, why you're doing it, where you're wanting to go, what are your dreams, what's your bucket list, what are these things, what is that? And so that's one of the main things on the first stage. It's the hardest stage. Most of the time, my clients come back to me and they go, wow, these are some hard questions. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I can't accumulate, I always tell everybody the reason that I am so passionate about people taking more vacations and not working 24/7 is because guess what? I did. I was a failure as a father. We took 4 vacations in over 18 years, right? I saw my kids very little, right? And I don't want that for everybody else. And if I'd have had this training back then, which I started to with the Earl Nightingale and Conant training, but it was in my younger days, but boom, right? So that is important that to communicate. Sun Tzu says to know your enemy and not know yourself, you only win 50% of the battles. To know yourself and not know your enemy, you only win 50% of the battles. But to know yourself and to know your enemy, you win 100% of the battles. And so we always start with the self, right? The why and everything. And so that's a teaser as far as my consulting goes, and as far as communication goes. It all starts with you. And I will say this: if you miscommunicate, it's your fault if you were speaking. It's your fault if they didn't understand, not their fault. Communication is on the communicator, not the communicatee. So, if there's a miscommunication, you got to back up and say, hey, was it the way I said it, when I said it, how I said it, what is it? But that is a huge thing. You got to take responsibility and say, this is my fault. I didn't communicate it well with you. Let's redo it again. And people are forgiving, right? If you say, look, I messed up somehow, I offended you somehow, and I didn't mean that at all. They're very forgiving. It's when you try to walk over, I'm like, well, you just don't understand. Well, no, it's everybody's got an opinion, and your opinion is only valid to you, not to anybody else. And people forget that. In this day of communication, Facebook is terrible at that. They really segregate everybody, right? They're the biggest segregations out there. You only talk with people that fit in your bracket. You never get to talk and make the difference, right, of talking with people with different ideas. It expands your world, right? So anyway, I'll talk on forever like that. So I got to get off that soapbox. What else was I supposed to? Oh, yeah, teaser about my show. So here's the thing. Last week we talked about wealth and how to get that. This week, I actually have 2 guests and I haven't decided yet. So maybe your audience can decide. I've got one person that's a marketing guru, and I've got another person that is a sales guru. And so what do you need in any business? Marketing and sales, right? You got how you say and what you do and how do you get them. And so, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Is there something we can do that we can get a tally, or maybe at another show, or I don't know what, or I mean, I can make that decision. I'll flip the coin, whatever, but what do you guys think?
That's good. That's a good tease. I don't know. Maybe we can throw it in the comments. What do you want to see? You want to see sales? You want to see marketing? Good tease. I like it.
I would always go with marketing. I would go with marketing first. Always.
All right. Is this opposite day? Because if it is, I don't want to be throwing a curveball. Okay, it's marketing. It is. I've had him on my show before. He's a super cool guy, and actually, coincidentally, is in the real estate market. It's not as in Brian or anything, but I mean that's where his area of expertise is to help realtors. So I will reach out to him. I've already kind of briefly told him that he might be, if it's not this week, then this month, next month. So, and that of course is on every first Tuesday. We're the first on the show at 3:00. So every first Tuesday at 3:00, that's when I'm on, and we're making a difference and having a happy time doing it. Fun time. 6 questions in 30 minutes, because the most successful people take at least 6 vacations a year. Just saying.
Good tie-in. I like it. Well, awesome. I do want to. You mentioned wealth. So last show you talked about wealth, and that's a very a loose segue to something that we, as a team, I'm part of a team that offers a wealth building through real estate seminar. We've talked about this on the show in the past. We've also done a few of them. We are looking to build out that platform, and we now have 2 new dates on the calendar for our next 2 seminars. So I do want to socialize this a bit. Again, it's a wealth building through real estate seminar. It's a 2-hour long. It's not just a presentation. It's an interactive session. We provide food and drink. So it's basically you just come, you learn. If you've at all been thinking about getting into the real estate investing game, we have a team of folks in place who can help facilitate that, be on your side, coach you along. There is no cost to attend the seminar. There's no cost for our services specific to the seminar. Now, obviously, if I provide property management, there is a cost to that. But this is really more just an educational opportunity for you. If you have $150,000 or more of equity in your home and are looking at another way outside of your typical securities, stock market, Bitcoin, all the rage now. But real estate is a tried and true method of building generational wealth. So come out to our seminars, check it out. Our next one is going to be April 22nd. That's a Thursday. And that is going to be at Jake's Burgers and Beer in Frisco, where we've done a couple other seminars. Great location in the back room that they have at Jake's. It's nice and quiet. They have good AV, and I will mention great food and great beer. So come on out to Jake's on Thursday, April 22nd. And then our next seminar after that will be the following week, and that'll be Tuesday, April 27th. That will be also from 6 to 8 p.m. So these are both 6 to 8 p.m. But the one on the 27th is going to be in Plano at the main event in Plano, which I believe is Spring Creek and 75, so a little bit further east. But please come out. Like I said, they're free seminars, free education, nothing, no obligations whatsoever. Just come on out and learn. So I did want to mention that. Let's see, we've got a couple minutes left. I don't think Daniel is going to be able to join us. I'm looking at my text messages here. He said he had a bad connection. He's out in the field right now. Not a surprise given the storms that rolled through last night. So he will not be able to join us, but I do want to make sure that we mention his business, and that is Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. You can see it up on the screen there. His contact information is listed there, 1-833-COOK-DFW. And then www.cookdfw.com is his website. The one thing I will say, so this is a roofing company, restoration company. He does a lot more than just roofing. I know they just finished up an office rebuild or a build out of a meeting room in an office building. So to give you an idea of the scope of work that they can handle, it's not just ripping off shingles and putting a new roof on a house. But, with the storm season coming up, you want somebody who's going to be on your side. Daniel is that person. He's honest. He will hop up on your roof and let you know honestly whether or not you need a new roof or not, which is not the case with a lot of the roofing companies that are swooping into the area and will swoop into the area following any of the major storms that'll be coming through the area this spring. So if you need a good roofer or just somebody to give you an honest opinion of the condition of your roof following the storm last night, reach out to Daniel Cook DFW Roofing. You can see the information scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Hey, Brian, can I jump in again?
Please.
So I go to a networking group, and I've learned a little bit about roofing. No, you don't want me on your roof. I can barely hit the tile instead of the nail. But what I did learn is if you think that your roof might need that do an insurance claim, call the roofer first. Okay, don't call your insurance agent first, because that'll ding you in a number of ways, and I won't go into that because I'm not qualified. But call the roofer first and have them go up there and say, yeah, your roof is damaged. It does. Yeah, your roof is damaged, but it's really not enough for the insurance company to do it, because it just resets every time you do it. That damage doesn't count towards the next damage. So you want an accumulative damage that says, all right, now we got enough. Boom. So anyway, call the roofers first. And I looked down there real quick. He's been in business for 25 years, got good rating. I don't know, right?
Yep. No, you're exactly right. And that's what you want. And Daniel has done that. He's told me many stories about, jumping up on a roof and taking a look and saying, no, honestly, you don't have a claim here, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner. Whereas another roofer would have said, yeah, open up a claim. And then all of a sudden the adjuster comes out and says, well, yeah, there's really not enough here. And like you said, Stephen, now you've got a ding on your insurance. So,
and not just that too, but you'll also, a lot of insurance companies have got vanishing deductibles where they will credit you dollars towards your deductible for each year that you go without filing a claim. If you file a claim, that goes away, even though they come back and say, well, no, it's not, it doesn't meet the need. You don't really need a new roof. Well, you filed a claim, so you've just eaten that. So get the roofer out first.
Word. What he said.
And with that, I think we are actually over our allotted time, but this has been great conversation, guys. Thanks for contributing on the topic of communication. We all know it's important, but there's instances where, it just like I had a couple weeks ago where it just chapped me enough to bring it up as a topic for this week. So I thank you guys for being on the show today. Great contribution on the topic, and look forward to seeing your guys' shows coming up. With that, thank you all for listening and watching out there in the audience. Join us next Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. for Real Talk. But until then, take care and have a great week. Bye all.